It's a mixture of all those, if I were to be more precise about it. It's the coming of age of the kid, it's a road movie where the father son interact with each other. It's also a movie about understanding one another while you are going towards the journey.
Hello, excuse.
I think this film has a very different audience और आज ऐसा टाइम आ चुका है कि audience तो अपनी फिल्म के choices उस दिन जब 6 फिल्में दिखती है फिर भी choose जो उनको देखना है वही कर लेती है and we trust the audience to kind of make that choice. So I think that should not be that big a problem.
Yeah, excuse me, Arvind sir, you're doing a Hindi film after almost a gap of 15 years. So, is there any nervousness in you? Perhaps how will the audience react to the film and your performance and something like that?
Not really. I mean, in the sense that the same nervousness that I have for a film in any other language, I have the same nervousness for this as well. I mean, it's good nervousness in a sense that I hope they see what we saw in the script.
No, sir was the first choice of the film. The moment we sat down to brainstorm about it, my casting director Anmol Ahuja, he came up with the thought of having Sir. And even at the back of my head, it was like, I remember Sir in Bombay Rosa. But if we can actually get him was the question. But once everybody decided, like, let's go with it, we approached Sir and it was a cakewalk after that, actually.
Arvind, here, straight. Here.
Yes.
You were quite a rage after Roja and Bombay. What was that turning point in your life which made you walk away from this fame that you had at that time?
See, actually, I never wanted to be an actor, and I was a reluctant actor. But the process of making the film was what I really enjoyed. The attention that came with success was something that made me very uncomfortable. I was not prepared for it. I was not ready. I was in my early 20s at that time.
But you never enjoyed that success, are you trying to say that?
I enjoyed the success. I didn't enjoy the attention. Okay. I mean, I want you to see my film, but leave me alone. It's like that. So, it's like if you think all your life, you think that you want to be a star and you want to perform, etc., then that is something that you would enjoy. But I was very unprepared for what came my way.
So adulation was something that you really didn't enjoy.
To know that
you did have a lot of female fans also. I remember, especially after Roja. And if you could just go back to those days and remember how was it like?
It was very stifling for me. So, like, it was not something like if I came out and saw, let's say, 100 people standing, it would make some people happy and proud. It would make some people want to run back into their house. I belong to the second category. So it is not that I didn't respect it. I respected it. It's just that I didn't know how to deal with it at that time. And I thought it was, as a lot of other movies started coming, it was only getting bigger, and in a sense that it was, I felt that I had that window of time to make a choice and do things in my life that I wanted to do, and feel comfortable again, in a sense. So I did all those things that took me to that point, and now I'm very comfortable. I'd like to meet and greet people. But personally, I think I'm a bit of a recluse, so those two things don't go together. So.
Censor board has become a bit tough these days. Any issues with the censor as far as this film goes?
It's not my problem, actually. So.
Yeah, I mean, the director...
That's the producer's problem, right?
It's a very sweet family film. It is just meant for a mature audience, but it doesn't have anything for...
So is it UA? What is the certificate that...
We're still certifying.
Okay.
Yeah, for the kid we had a couple of auditions. We had a few, and Himanshu, finally the one we picked, he nailed the audition perfectly. He brought with him that naivety of youth, that kid who is just growing up and is that doldrum age where he can't understand what's happening and what he wants, and that maturity which comes after he understands where his father is coming from and where he is headed. So yeah, he perfectly nailed it at that point.
I want to ask a question. So, we have a rough idea about the complexity that the film has. So, is it because of that complexity that you didn't think of it an option for Tamil films, or is it
Not really. It was meant to
unrelated?
be a Hindi film. It was not meant to be a Tamil. Like for example, and I also believe, see, in those days when I used to act, and once Roja and Mami became successful, what used to happen was every film that I did in any language used to get dubbed in other languages. And you're not making the film for certain audiences in a sense, not because of the subject or not because of all that, because visually it's different, right? I mean, you're working with actors and co-actors who are speaking another language. There's no lip sync. Everything goes. It doesn't look like a straight language film in a sense. So unless you're making it like a bilingual, and these guys didn't have a plan to do that at that point in time. I'm very clear that any film that I do now in any direct language should not get dubbed in other languages, because I feel then the audience sometimes does not know that it's a dubbed film. Then they see a lot of things that are a little alien visually or even audio-wise, whatever. It doesn't look like a straight film. So nowadays, at least, you can contract and things like that. In those days, we couldn't, or we never thought of it in a sense. So there was no plan, I think, to make it in Tamil. Yes, sir. No, sir, it's age. So, like I told you, sir, I was not ready in my 20s. I didn't know how to. I just wanted to be left alone. Like even my entire career, I think from 90 to 2000, in 10 years, I did only 3 photo shoots. That too, I was compelled for a couple of them. And interviews also, I used to hardly, I think 4 or 5 actual interviews. The rest were all taken from old interviews or clippings, etc. and used. So I was, that was my comfort zone. I didn't want to interact. It's not about being friendly or disrespectful. It's just that I didn't want to do it. I was not comfortable. When I look back now, I can, obviously 20 odd years have passed, and I can look back and understand what the problem was then. Even now, I'm very reluctant, but I'm more comfortable. இப்போ ஒரு தெலுங்கு படம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார். தனி ஒருவன் ஒரு படம் வந்துச்சுல, தமிழ் பார்த்தீங்களா நீங்கள்? தனி ஒருவன். ஓகே, தனி ஒருவன் படத்தை இப்போ தெலுங்கில் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். அது முடிச்சுட்டு இப்போ போகன் ஒரு தமிழ் படம், போகன் ஒரு தமிழ் படம் பண்ண போகிறேன். அது பிரபுதேவா தான் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுறாரு. Yeah, so he was asking whether I'm doing other Tamil films now. Doing other films. So I did a film last year in Tamil called Thani Varvan, which was a very successful film. So that was being remade in Telugu. So that is something that I'm doing now. Once that is done, I'm doing another Tamil film called Bogan, which is being produced by Mr. Prabhudeva, a director called Lakshman. I'm kind of doing some films for this year, so if at all I do something, it has to be probably closer to next year. Sorry? I have a few scripts that I'm still reading. I take my time. So.
Arvind sir, talking about Bombay and Rosa, here, left, yeah. Are you still in touch with your co-stars? I mean, Manisha Koral or anybody?
Yeah, I did meet her a couple of years ago when she had come back from New York. That's about it. Apart from that, I met Mr. Anupam yesterday. Like I said, I don't have too many friends. So. Actors can express their views. I think one of the things that we must understand about patriotism is that the Constitution gives you the freedom of speech to express yourself. If somebody is not comfortable and they're expressing themselves, then it doesn't make them a bad person or doesn't make them unpatriotic, etc. I think we all must learn to make sure that we respect people's views, whether they are saying something that is saying something that they're very comfortable with, or saying something that they're not comfortable with in something. So I think it's everybody's right to express themselves. I have no personal view on that. Roja, yes, it was not me, it was Rishi Kumar who was falling on the flag. Yeah, but I did feel very privileged to do that scene. But I don't think you should mix up Arvind Swamy with Rishi Kumar. Yes.
What's the reaction of your kids and wife, to your on-screen appearance?
Actually, all these years, my kids have not seen any movies of mine, even the old ones. I remember, I think it was on Independence Day, Republic Day, one of the days, they showed Roja, which they used to keep repeating in a lot of the Tamil channels. And my daughter walked in and saw this exact scene where I was falling on the fire and then people were beating me up. And she started crying. And then after that, she refused to see any of my movies. This happened when she was very young. So I also didn't force them to see any of my movies. So Tani Oruvan, which I did last year, was the first film that actually my son saw, and he thought I was very cool because I was the anti-hero in that. So he liked that a lot.
अरविंद जी,
Yes, sir.
साउथ के कई कलाकार पॉलिटिक्स में जाते रहते हैं, तो क्या आप भी पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में सोच रहे हैं फ्यूचर में?
नहीं सर, आई एम वेरी apolitical person.
Release it internationally along with the Indian release. So
Arvind,
very difficult, sir. All the films are close to my heart. Bombay was something that Bombay Roja, of course, was movies that I really liked. I liked a film called Devaragam, which I did with Bharathan. Movies like Pudayal, Tani Oruvan were all, and Kadal to me was special also because that was the first movie that I did after 12 years. So. Yeah, that is a different father. This is a different father.
Arvind, Arvind, how difficult was it for you to face the camera after such a long gap? Was it difficult for you? Like, can you describe the first day of your shoot?
First day, yeah. To be honest, I had a little bit of doubt as to whether. By the time I had decided to stop films, as an actor, as a movie actor, you're hitting the zone in a sense that you know when the shot is right and you know what you've done, right? Here I was a little unsure as to whether I still remember that, whether I still got it and all that. But I didn't want to see the monitor because I was not used to seeing the monitor for reconfirming whether things are okay. So my fight till today is always with the monitor, not with the camera. Since I try to avoid, unless I have a doubt, I don't try and go there. But it wasn't too much. It was just a couple of hours, and then after that, it just started. It was like back to normal.
Arvind, are you following Bollywood movies for all these years? Have you followed?
So I don't watch too many movies. Even Tamil cinema, I didn't see after I quit. For about 7 years, I don't think I saw any Tamil or Hindi films. उनकी मर्जी, अगर वो चाहती है तो ज़रूर. I won't stand in her way or his way. If they want to do it, surely they must. I've given them the freedom to choose whatever whatever topics they want to study, whatever they want to do in life, they're free to do. In fact, I don't even tell them to study based on a profession. Like my son, for example, loves physics and mathematics. So I tell him, I said, don't worry about the rest of the subjects. Whether you don't have to say I have to do maths, physics, chemistry, something for engineering. I give all the wrong advice. So I tell my son, I said, you like physics, just study physics and other subjects that you want, and you can always study something, in a subject that interests you. I think a lot of you asked me about something else, you've already answered. I don't want to keep talking.
No problem. I would just also like to invite Raghav and Arjun, the music directors of the film. And after Bombay and Rosa, the music of both the films have been so famous. So we are hoping Dear Dad also becomes one of them. Please, Raghav and Arjun, ladies and gentlemen. आप लोग photo खींच सकते हैं. We'll get the stools away. Yeah.